Well, Tamas, fresh from a Kent Senior Cup semi-final defeat, are very disappointing to go out of the competition when you were so close to getting into the final. I mean, their equaliser came in the 10th minute of stoppage time.
No, yeah, it was pretty gutting. It was a tough game to play in, tough cold Tuesday night. But we sort of grinded out the result until the last 5 minutes of the game. There was an additional 7 minutes, which we even thought was quite longer than we expected. Then somewhere in the game, somehow 3 minutes got added on. They got a free kick, last kick of the game, and managed to equalise. So it wasn't great for us.
Yeah, I mean, that's disappointing, isn't it? Because when there's 7 minutes added, to then add another 4 minutes, I think, or 3.5 minutes, that seems a lot of time to find. In fact, I did some number crunching. If you apply that over a half, it's 19 minutes additional time.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think a lot of the players, a lot of the boys that started that game as well, we haven't played a lot of minutes over the last few weeks. So it was quite tough even to get to 90, let alone to 100 plus minutes. So that was literally the difference of the two teams, really. It wasn't great.
But I suppose from a performance point of view, it was very good. It was not a poor performance. The lads all worked really hard and actually had a goal disallowed. It could have been 2-0.
Yeah. So we even had the goal disallowed, which, sort of closed out the game. Probably makes them chase it a bit more, makes them, sort of rush rather than sort of keep the ball as well as they did at times. But yeah, again, that goal probably would have changed it and would have turned the table on its head, really.
Now, Tamas, you must be pleased to get some minutes in your legs. I mean, obviously, you played in the league game as well, so you've had to bide your time a little bit. But how do you feel it's sort of gone? I mean, those bits when you're sort of not getting as many minutes, it must be a little bit difficult because everyone wants to play, of course.
Yeah, no, it is quite tough. Me and the boys, people like Jerry, Eniye, some people haven't got as many minutes as we'd like. We sort of have the sort of mentality to put our energy towards positivity and avoid the negativity. Otherwise, it becomes more draining, quicker, and it spreads in the team. And that's not what you want. So you kind of just got to keep working, keep waiting until you get your sort of chance. And luckily, I got my start on the Saturday that just came and yesterday. And it was quite tough because, obviously not playing and then coming into this sort of the time of the year, when it's cold as well, you're trying to get used to the game. But no, it's been good. It's been good to be involved. I think, obviously not playing throughout the year and or in certain games and, coming in and out and not having a full 90. I think the first half of both games was a lot easier than the second, obviously, because I felt a lot fitter. But, fitness can definitely impact your sort of decision-making, your quality, and especially on a Tuesday night against a good side like Welling. I think it was quite tough to sort of make the right decisions at times and execute plans that you had in your head with your feet. So yeah, that's pretty much how I felt in the two games.
Now, of course, you arrived in the summer and you came with your brother. So that was absolutely fantastic. That must have been a very happy day for you to join him. And I mean, I'm assuming you've played lots of times together in the past.
Not a lot, not too much in terms of the same team. We played a few times against each other. For example, at university and in and around the ranks of non-league as well. But when we both signed, it was quite good because we knew how each other played. It would be good if we sort of played together a lot more because I know he just likes to arrive in the box and click crosses and things like that. But again, we're sort of biding our time, waiting to see how the season pans out. But yeah, it was a good day when we did sign. It was quite excited to both play.
And of course, it was nice for him to get a goal.
Yeah, exactly. I was very happy to see that as well. I was kind of blowing in the first few minutes. When you're trying to get used to the minutes. But when he did score, I was rushing over to go and celebrate with him. And to be fair, he scored some may say it was lucky, but you have to be there to score. He's only gone and pressed the keeper, and the keeper's kicked it against him. So he's managed to get that goal there, which was pretty exciting to see.
Now, in terms of you and your brother, as I say, you've been there this season. Just give us a little bit of insight into Eniye. I mean, he really is a lovely man. I think you're both lovely, actually. But just about Eniye, really nice, an absolute gentleman. What's it been like, the two of you growing up together?
No, it's been had our ups and downs as brothers do. But I think as we started to mature, I think we've started to become a lot closer, especially playing for the same club. I do think we have a competitive streak in a lot of things we do. Whether that's football, gym, or even game shows. To be fair, we sort of compete in a lot of things, and that's sort of our one of the strings that keeps us attached, really.
Because I know your brother, he gets involved in a podcast as well.
Yes. So he's in Tapping Merchants. I watch a lot of them as well. To be fair, he's actually got quite good ball knowledge in terms of the industry and what's happening in and around it. So yeah, definitely give Tapper Merchants a watch on there.
Brilliant. And of course, Eniye's had to be patient as well. It's well documented how rich with goals this team's been this season until recently. So it was very hard to get into the team when the other boys are on fire.
Yeah. I've always said it's always hard to get into a winning team. A lot of managers sort of stick to what they know what works, and it's quite hard to convince someone to sort of change what is working. So especially when the boys have done so well through the first sort of 2/3 of the season, you sort of want to believe that you can just get one win, one goal, which will sort of turn things back to how they were in the first few games of the season, and kick on. But yeah, he's managed to sort of get a goal yesterday. So we'll see how many minutes he gets on Saturday.
Now, tell me about the season in terms of us getting off to a great start, top of the table. I had a chance actually to go 10 points clear, didn't we, when we played Billericay. It got pushed down to 4, and then of course now we've fallen behind some of the clubs. It's been a bit of a roller coaster there, hasn't it, to peak and then to slide a little bit. Just tell us the whole emotions behind that and how you've seen it from your point of view.
Yeah, from my point of view, it is quite tough to sort of pinpoint what exactly has changed, because we haven't changed sort of the game plan. Jake's been quite loyal with the players that have started, and the players in and around the whole club rather than even just the squad. So to pinpoint exactly what should have been changed and what could have been changed is quite difficult. But I think it's just quite unlucky. Sometimes you don't get the rub of the green. And then once you stop getting the rub of the green, it's even harder to get again from there. But I do think one win can sort of change things and get us on another run again. Dartford have sort of picked up in the past few weeks the same form that we had previously. So I don't think it's tough for us to get back there. I just think it's just that one win which can sort of turn things on our head. Having the fans in and around the sort of game to game, with a positive attitude as well, sort of believing in us to get that goal, to get that win. Can definitely turn things around quite quickly.
Yeah, because the Whitehawk game, very disappointing. I kind of felt like we were going to win that game. I really did. I turned up to the ground thinking, yeah, we'll press the reset button and we're going to go again. And we let a really unfortunate goal in, don't we, almost at the start of the game. And it kind of felt like all the confidence sapped out the boys from that moment.
Yeah, I can imagine it looking from the side like the confidence sort of might have come out as soon as we conceded that goal. But, being on the pitch and being on the side might have different perspectives. From my perspective, when I was on the pitch, it didn't seem like the confidence was sort of dropped. It just seemed like we wanted to get that goal as quick as possible, which might have deviated from our quality and sort of the game plan that we had at the get-go. But, from half-time, I think a lot of fans and a lot of, players even could see the two difference in between the two halves from when we sort of calmed down, wanted to get the second goal, but in a more methodical way, which almost paid off, but again, just didn't get a rub of the green and ended up 2-0.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're in those situations, you go behind early on, you're eager to execute that pass, and sometimes you don't make the right decision, you don't play the pass at the right time, or you play it too quickly. Did you feel like that was what was happening?
I did a little bit, yeah. I did think maybe we wanted to get the ball forward quicker than we needed to, maybe at times. We sort of had the ball in the air more than usual, and didn't really get the ball down and play in the first half. But again, we sort of spoke with Jake and Mike in the second half in the changing room, calmed us down, told us exactly what to do, what we should stop doing. And, players like Wilco really shined through in that game, bringing the ball down and connecting things together.
No, I spoke to almost every one of you actually after the game on Saturday in the Centre Spot bar, and I really sensed the spirit there, which was really encouraging, because when a team keeps getting kicked the way it is in terms of the results and from where we were, it's easy for heads to drop, and that's understandable. But there is that spirit still there, and it's the same bunch of lads that I was seeing at the start of the season. How are you finding it?
Yeah, I think it's not as tough as it seems, to be fair, because I think the recruitment from Jake and Mike has been excellent in terms of spirit. I don't think you can actually buy spirit. I think it's in the DNA of the players that you bring in, and I think because we've had such a great run from the beginning, the last few weeks haven't really sort of turned us against each other. Everyone's still quite positive. Everyone still believes. Even in training, it's even more intense than it was when we were winning. So I think things behind the scenes and in and around the club aren't really going downhill. I think it's just genuinely just not getting the luck of the green and just not being able to put the ball in the back of the net.
And sometimes when you're on a run like you are at the moment, people are looking for reasons why that is. And for example, one of the theories is that you boys shouldn't have gone on your Christmas trip to Dublin. But of course, there's a lot of team bonding that goes on at those sort of events, at those sort
Yeah.
of trips. And had we gone on a great run, everyone had been heralding what a close knit team it was. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that one's quite historical, to us. But I think a lot of teams went on a sort of a holiday or getaway there for team bonding, which I think personally brought us closer together. Although it might not have done us favors, on the pitch, it was a good experience, and I think year on year teams probably will do the same thing, going out and getting closer together. I do think it might have caused maybe a few illnesses. In and around Christmas, a lot of people were ill, which affected us going forth and going onwards. But again, I do think it was a good experience for the club and to bring the boys together, which carries us on with the spirit we have now.
Now, Tamas, you've had some exciting projects recently, and one of them involved the launch of a new Adidas Predator boot, an advert, and you appeared in it with Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, so that was quite exciting, to be fair. I sort of just got a message off of an agency, one of the project managers at Sports on Screen, saying, do you want to be put forward to be in this sort of campaign? And I was more than happy to say yes. They just asked for a few pictures and a video of me playing, football, just to see that I can actually kick the ball to be involved. And then so I got a message saying, congratulations, you've been selected, and went through and done the advert like that.
Yeah, and you had David Beckham and Pedro were involved in the advert as well. Obviously not with you on the day, but they appeared as well.
Yeah. So they actually they done they done the video in sort of 3 locations. So they done the video in Spain, in England, and in America. So we had Pedro in Spain with Bellingham as well, and we had Beckham in sort of in America, and then myself and our cast in England.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite surreal to have a Dover Athletic player appearing with a Real Madrid and England star.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect it at all. To be fair, I just thought, when you sort of see things on TV and think like, wow, that's quite good to be a part of. It's good to watch as well. But it was good to sort of represent Dover and people around me as well, to be on such a big advert.
So Tamas, you obviously work as a model. How long have you been doing that, and how much are you enjoying it?
I've been doing it for about a year and a few months. It's really enjoyable. You meet great people, get involved in good campaigns, and obviously the money's okay depending on what campaign you're in as well. So it's always good to be around, really.
Tamas, obviously you're a long throw specialist. You're always there teeing up the ball into the box whenever we're around that area. Is that something that you've always done? Have you always been able to throw the ball really far?
No, I haven't actually. So again, this sort of comes between me and my brother. So when we were in our old house, we had a front garden. So we'd actually sort of throw the ball. It sounds crazy, but to sort of touch the ball down rather than throwing it up in the air, we'd throw it against the house, and then it would bounce back down, and you bring it down, and then test each other's touch like that. And we played with our neighbours as well to sort of test each other's touch. So rather than throwing it underarm, we've sort of just made it realistic and throwing it, overarm. And it comes between me and Eniye, because we sort of just saw who can throw it the highest, really, who can sort of get it longer and longer. Then to the point where we got it on top of the house. And then we had like a gutter outlining on the house. So then the ball got stuck in the gutter. And then the only way to get the ball down wasn't to go on the roof and get it. It was to get another ball and sort of throw it and then hit the ball down. So we kept on just going higher and higher until we got it over the house. And then from there, we've just always had that sort of long throw. So he's actually got quite a long throw himself as well. But, he's 6'5", so you want him in the box. So, but it's definitely harder to sort of throw the ball in these sort of conditions when it's, wet, rainy, windy, cold. Your upper body isn't really as warm as your lower body and moving as much. So, but it's something we still work on and still use.
Now, football has a habit of writing beautiful scripts, doesn't it? Things just happen, like amazing cup draws happen when there's great stories behind it. But here's a poetic ending to the season. Your long throw, Eniye on the end of it, header, top corner, Dover Athletic promoted.
I can genuinely imagine that happening. It's genuinely last minute of the game, 2-0 win in the final.